and welcome to this episode of Talking About Rock. I'm Rob Edwards. I hope everyone out there enjoyed their weekend. Last weekend, I was in Springville, New York for the 10th annual Rock and Roll Camp at Hagarosa Campgrounds. This event showcases local Buffalo bands in a weekend-long rock festival. Everyone had an amazing time, 17 bands, 2 days of great music and camping, and a bonfire with the bands at the end of the night. Mark this on your calendars for your next camping weekend, and it's a yearly event, and tickets usually sell out pretty quickly. Again, that's Hagarosa Campgrounds in Springville, New York. Next year will be Rock and Roll Camp Weekend 2023. So today's guest played a character known for frequenting the campgrounds also. He played the original Jason Voorhees in the original Friday the 13th movie. He's also a singer, musician, and seasoned recording artist. We are happy to have with us Ari Lehman from his band First Jason. Hey, welcome to the show,
Rob,
man.
How you doing, man?
Great, dude. How are you, man?
Rock. That's what I like to hear. Talking about rock. Rock is and metal in particular is going through such a good time right now. My gosh, Ozzy Osbourne coming out with new songs.
I know. We just talked to the folks from the Diary of the Madman podcast the other day.
Wow.
About all the new Ozzy stuff, about the album and everything. And I think they're on a road trip right now to go hear the whole album and possibly meet the man himself.
Wow, that's amazing. And Metallica just played here last night in Chicago at Lollapalooza. Awesome. I mean, and then you got them now with Stranger Things, you know, so there's that horror. Look at that. Ozzy has that horror metal connection, and Metallica always has had that. Kirk Hammett being a very big horror fan. He has a horror museum, in fact.
Oh, really?
In San Francisco. Yeah, he has a formidable collection. Now, of course, they're back on tour. So, you know, he was doing kind of horror metal event too. So I don't know if they're doing that this year, but, you know, we are blessed in that, you know, it's kind of like that 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You know, of course, I have a 0 being in a movie with Kevin Bacon, but
right,
you know, Ice Nine Kills has had the amazing just such a great warm-heartedness and open-heartedness as to have me sing on one of their songs. Spencer Charnas, the lead singer, sang on one of ours. So now there's that connection. We're going to get to open for Twisted and Ice Nine Kills next month. But the connection, of course, is that now Ice Nine Kills is going to open for Metallica. And that's been in the works for quite some time. So, you know, it's actually going to be a very interesting bill. It's Metallica, Greta Van Fleet, and Ice Nine Kills. So, I mean, if you will, there's really that speaks so much about metal to me, in the sense that you have, I like to call Ice Nine Kills theatrical metal, because the level of theatricality is beyond belief.
Right.
And, you know, people just love that. And you know, their fans sing every lyric, and the first 4 rows are sobbing the whole time. It's like amazing.
Yeah, no, yeah, they'll be out here August 11th, I think.
August 27th. We're going to be playing with them in Massachusetts. In fact, yeah. So that's coming up at Silver Screen Con. But
okay,
you got
cool.
them in Buffalo on the 11th. You're saying?
Yeah, Metallica's going to be here on the 11th with Greta Van Fleet, and the day before that, August 10th, is the stadium tour show, obviously, with Leopard, Poison, you know, Joan Jett, and everybody the day before. So there's like 2 shows back to back there. That's going to be
amazing.
Crazy. Yeah.
I don't know for sure if Ice Nine Kills is on that one, but
no, I don't think they are.
Hey,
no.
You know,
but,
okay.
But, yeah.
But there's but you know, just the fact that, you know, metal is such a vast and wide audience. Punk metal, all the way, you know, you've got theatrical metal like Ice Nine Kills, or you've got, like, think about like Kiss, all the way to bands like Deicide
I know
Cannibal Corpse.
there's such a huge outpouring of bands now, but let's circle back. Let's talk
It's
about you a little
incredible.
bit. Yeah, let's talk about you a little bit. So I got to catch your show at Stamps in Tonawanda a couple weeks back. Very cool show, definitely. So for folks who aren't totally aware, you are the original boy in the lake, rising up out of the lake, grabbing Alice on her boat. I think that was
Yeah,
Adrian King, right?
correct.
That you grabbed on there. So you were the original first Jason, but you actually started playing music at a very young age, right?
Yes, that's true. I was already playing jazz piano at the time that I was on the set of Friday the 13th, kind of trying to decide whether I wanted to do acting or music. And on the set of Friday the 13th, in fact, the crew and some of the actors, learning that I was a musician, very enthusiastically turned me on to Patti Smith and the Sex Pistols and bands like Dead Kennedys, and I remember listening to Ramones, and they would put them on an 8-track tape in the van, actually in the pickup truck of the lighting guy, Braden.
Okay. Yeah.
Braden Lutz, and he would have an 8-track tape player, man, and we would listen to all that music because there was a lot of time in between my scenes
setting up, right? Yeah.
And they were excited. Remember, it was the summer of 1979, and it was shot in New Jersey. So all of these cast and crew were hired from the New York City area, and it was a particularly hot summer, and they wanted to get out of the city. Now they were hanging out with a kid. I was the only kid at this summer camp, and they were enjoying the weather and just being out of the hot city. But they had just seen all these bands, and they were all excited about them. And when they heard that I was a musician, they wanted to share that with me, and I benefited a lot from that.
And you also had the All-State Award for Excellence in Jazz Piano, right?
Well, that's true, and I appreciate that you did that research, man, very much. Yeah, at an early age, I began very fascinated with playing jazz piano. I had an amazing teacher who was named Gay Mehigan. She was the wife of John Mehigan. John Mehigan is famous for teaching such greats as Herbie Hancock and Abdullah Ibrahim, and he was the Juilliard. He created the jazz program at Juilliard. So John Mehigan kind of created jazz theory, if you will.
Right.
So studying with Gay Mehigan was an amazing thing for me. Then I went to New York City, and I had several teachers there, including Jim McNeely, the great jazz pianist, Joanne Brackeen, the great jazz pianist, but the teacher that really kind of got me going was his name is Vladimir Shafranov, and he's from Russia.
Right.
And actually, the movie Moscow on the Hudson is based on Vladimir and his life, because Vladimir would listen to the radio, and he was able to transcribe Oscar Peterson. Now, if you know Oscar Peterson, this is one of the greatest piano players of all time. And he could transcribe and play Oscar Peterson, in his 20s. So he's very famous, came to America with nothing. And, now I think he owns a big restaurant in Manhattan. Last I checked, anyway, he was a great teacher for me because he would take no bullshit. He was like, Ari, what is this chord you are playing? This chord is shit. Don't play this. He was just, like it's just Ari, stop this. Why? No. But when he liked what I was playing, which he would also show that by dancing around the room and stuff. But he was just a total inspiration and could play piano like nobody's business, every style. So then what happened was, basically I was really into jazz, okay, and then smooth jazz came out. You had Grover Washington, who was pretty good, and then of course you had Kenny G. And so since I had long hair and I'm a white guy, I wanted to be in jazz. People are always associate me and say, "Oh, you want to do jazz like Kenny G?"
Right.
But I was into oh man, we were digging forget it, Ronald Shannon Jackson and Ornette Coleman and out jazz. And I had 36 Coltrane albums and, Burn Nicks and Vernon Reed and people like that, Black Rock Coalition. I don't know if you know about Melvin Gibbs, who ended up in Roland's band, the bass player from Roland's band, the big guy. That's who I was around. I worked at Tower Records. So I was absorbing all of that. Now, at the same time, I had a buddy who was the lead singer of a band called Reagan Youth. Now, Reagan Youth was an anarchistic, super left-wing punk band based out of the East Village. Well, kind of, I think also the Bronx, but ultimately the East Village. And so Dave would take me to the shows at CBGB's, and I would see Bad Brains, and I saw White Zombie with Rob Zombie, and Sean Yassault, and all these amazing players. And I was totally blown away at that time because I was the little Connecticut jazz guy,
Right.
So I was pretty much blown away, man. And but all of that made a deep impression on me. Now, I continued by going into world music. World music became very popular in the 90s, okay? I had the good fortune, because I knew West African taxi drivers who were my friends. They called me up one day, "Ari, there is an audition. You must go right now. I will take you to this audition." Even my friend took me to this audition because a singer had come from Nigeria. And my friend Nelson gets out of there, and he knew him. They were 10 years. They knew each other. They hadn't seen each other in years. Oh my God. So I sat down and I was playing some keyboard, and they hired me. So that's how I got in a band called Majek Fashek and the Prisoners of Conscience. Okay, man. Now, I don't know if you know about this, but they got signed by Interscope Records. And that's, Jimmy Iovine. And the album that we did called Spirit of Love, which is on Spotify. It's a great world music album. It has a song that was very famous called Send Down the Rain. And Majek was seen kind of like the new Bob Marley meets Jimi Hendrix. It was really cool. But one thing led to another, and the whole world music scene kind of dissipated. Grunge came in, different stuff came in. As a matter of fact, U2 came into the studio while we were recording that album. It was produced by Little Steven, bro. Okay, Little Steven from Bruce Springsteen, from The Sopranos. And I worked together with him day after day. I actually sat as we conceived each song, and I watched, and he taught me a lot, especially about how to play certain things, like to play rock and roll organ, like the B3 with the Leslie. Little Steven taught me a lot about that, and you can hear that instrument in The Scapegoat. So,
awesome. Yeah, we're definitely going to get to that song for sure. Another thing I wanted to mention quick before we go there is in 2002, East Coast Horror Conventions contacted you, and you started doing the horror circuit and doing shows for that. How did that come about?
Well, it's a perfect segue, because that's about the same time that I'm talking about. What happened was a fan contacted me one day, and he said, "Hey man, did you sign this photo of little Jason in the water?" Now, I was all into the world of, I literally went to West Africa. You know what I'm saying? I went to Ivory Coast. In my mind, I was still,
you're
doing
still in reggae music and world music.
Oh yeah, Ari Ben Moses band, and I was doing all that. But thinking about different ideas, and then boom, this guy's like, "Well, I just paid $50 for this autograph on eBay," and I was like, "Wait a second, I didn't sign that." So sure enough, it was a forgery. I did speak to the vendor. The vendor claimed it was a third-party thing, returned some of the money to different parties, which was nice of them. But then it dawned on me, wow, there's a big market here. That's when I was invited by Fangoria Convention, which was Fangoria and Chiller Theater. That was held at the Meadowlands. Now, me and one of the musicians from the reggae band went to the Meadowlands, and there were thousands and thousands of people there to meet me. Oh my gosh, I remember my heart was just boom, boom, boom. And here was Tom Savini, and Kane Hodder was there. And that's where I had the great pleasure of meeting Betsy Palmer for the first time, which was a wonderful experience. And she just really was my, mentor in a lot of ways. And, but yeah, so what happened at that show actually is that I had some of my reggae CDs, and some of the fans, bought some the first day, and they came back and they say, you know what, man, I don't usually listen to reggae, but that was pretty cool. Thank you for playing, because it was kind of a rock reggae. But then I thought, why don't I just hit them where they live? Obviously, I love the irony and the drama inherent. Like if I go on stage, a kind of medium height guy with long hair and a beard, and sing all about peace and love and everyone get together all over the world, it's like, you're already asleep. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But even if I saw that, even I believe that 100%, but there's no dramatic irony there.
Right.
See?
Exactly.
And that's not saying that what I do isn't honest, because it's 100% honest. But where I'm coming from is from the point of view of Jason Voorhees. So in other words, having played Jason Voorhees, I write songs. Machete is my friend, Sink or Swim, Jason Never Dies. Okay. These kind of songs, Voorhees is the name, all these kind of songs.
And what I thought was really cool, I was looking at the instrument you're playing a Roland Axe Edge KEYTAR synthesizer, I thought.
Yeah.
And it's really, really, it's like you got a big machete right there is what it kind of looks like when you're playing that.
Playing that heavy metal KEYTAR, I've got it hooked up to a Metal Zone pedal and going through a Sans amp. So it's like playing Thunder, okay? And as a matter of fact, First Jason is now a trio, because I can play all the bass stuff. Eddie Machete, our virtuoso guitar player, has all that. And Bass Amp, our drummer, who's like a punk comedy horror guy, it's streamlined and it's a lot of fun. And I get to kind of show off that I can play bass and lead, or bass and rhythm, and sing at the same time. Okay?
Yeah, it was definitely very, very cool. I don't think I've seen anyone showcase that instrument like you have, and that's super cool. So I wanted to talk about
we don't use tracks, no tracks. It's a rock and roll show. And if you listen to what I'm doing on the KEYTAR, I kind of drew upon the way Lemmy plays the bass, in Motorhead, because he uses those wonderful fourths and fifths a lot. He doesn't always just play a single note.
Right.
And I love that low end stuff. And then, the Metal Zone pedal adds a lot.
Excellent. Yeah. So the first track I wanted to talk a little about, we're going to play it here in a minute, is Scapegoat. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The Scapegoat, thank you so much. We just finished the video for the Scapegoat, and the mix we're doing actually is going to have Spencer Charnas in it. The Scapegoat was just a song that appeared all at once. I remember this. It was like on a full moon night, and it was in a response to all of the things that were going on after the George Floyd murder, and the response to that, and the way the country was feeling. Now, I'm particularly not one to take political issues and
You like kind of
try to,
soapbox about
you know,
yeah.
no. I certainly, what I'm looking for is to unify people.
Right.
And to make everybody understand. And well, the idea of the scapegoat, as it says in the song, it comes from Leviticus. The entire children of Israel would come and lay their hands on the scapegoat and thereby be expiated of sin for that year. The scapegoat would be then sent into the desert and fed to the demon Azazel. This is the only direct mention of a demon in Torah. So it's very significant. But I also found that people from many different religions related to this story. Now, so there I am saying I don't want to be religious or political, but what I'm really trying to do is to say, what it says is, lay your hands upon me, look into my eyes, you know, kneel down upon my neck, okay? Put your hands around my throat, I am the scapegoat. So it's obviously, it's like one of those references of self-sacrifice. So maybe what I'm trying to say too, and you can see it in the video, the animation video. Now, the new video that's coming out is going to be absolutely mind-blowing, and it's going to really rocket this song to a lot of people's hearts. But this animation video, which is done by Bobby Wells, who's a student out of Baltimore, a young student who's amazing. He goes as Pesteratus on Instagram, and everybody should say great things to him. But yeah, it's like the scapegoat is walking through the city, Rob, and he's absorbing the negative energy. He's absorbing that negative energy upon himself and then going out into the desert, you know, to face, you know, the
excellent. I really like the track. I really like the video. So we're going to play it here quick, and we'll be right back with Ari Lehman on talking about
Aaron shall take the 2 he-goats and let them stand before the Lord at the entrance of the tent of meeting, and he shall place lots upon the 2 goats. One marked for the Lord, and the other marked for Azazel. Aaron shall bring forward the goat, designated by lot for the Lord, which he is to offer as a sin offering, while the goat designated by lot for Azazel frequencies to an inaccessible region, and their ghost shall be set free in the wilderness.
Okay, we're back here on Talking About Rock with Ari Lehman. Just watched the video
Whoa,
for
yeah,
Scapegoat, man.
man.
Very, very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. You know, a lot of folks have been doing the animated stuff lately for videos,
yeah.
and it's really neat, really definitely neat. Well, you talked about it a little bit, and I wanted to kind of revisit it a little bit. You talked a little bit about Motorhead and stuff and some of the other bands. What other bands were influencing you, like on the metal side of things?
Well, my gosh, it's when I started, okay, Jimi Hendrix was a huge influence on me. Frank Zappa was a huge influence on me. Now, I was totally into prog. So, yes, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Okay, obviously, anybody who listens to me, you hear the John Lord, Deep Purple influence.
Definitely. Yep.
I think that that's very present in First Jason. It just always appealed to me, their Deep Purple's approach to metal, and I just love their songs. But as you said, also Motorhead. But then again, when I really got back into it, I started digging on all kinds of different bands, from heavier side, or even from a more punk side. There's so many different things that I'll listen to. I mean, my gosh, nowadays I'm listening to bands like Monochromatic Black. I don't know if you've heard them. They're from up in Long Island, man. Do you know them?
No, I don't know them, but
It's
I've
an
heard
amazing
of them. Yeah.
band.
I've heard of
So,
them. Yeah.
and so now, I mean, I'll admit I'm being influenced by, like, okay, we just played at the Carolina Chainsaw Massacre, and I saw Incantation, and that totally blew my mind. So, in as much as our original ideas, sure, I drew upon everything from Misfits, Danzig,
Right.
of course, Ozzy, I would say I lean towards a heavier, darker sound than, say, Alice Cooper vibe or Kiss vibe.
Right. Right. They're just
um,
more rock and roll, but they got the shock quality, but it's not a heavy, thudding undertone.
yeah, their songs are amazing, and all the bands, I mean, my gosh, we're just blessed by so many great
Definitely,
artists.
definitely. There's so much music going
Henry
on.
Rollins band. I always loved their kind of funky and rock and metal, and his vocal approach I always felt was so ballsy. Rollins band,
Right. Yep.
So,
Yep. There's so much cool music going on now. There's so many new bands coming out all the time. It's amazing. But I wanted to kind of switch it up.
Typo Negative would be one.
Yeah.
Because of the keyboards, and also because of the the subject matter, but I even got to meet Peter Steele in the past, which was
Nice.
Which was amazing. It was like, "Hi up there, Peter, how are you?" He was like a giant, very, very friendly person, but also very morose.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm very upbeat, like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Right. Right.
Like,
I know when we met, we were chatting. We were just like chatting away. Yeah, definitely. So
Yeah,
the
very
next
nice
thing I want to,
person.
next thing I want to talk about a little bit is the next track here, Price of Peace. Can you tell us a little bit about the idea behind that?
Oh yeah, The Price of Peace, again, that came a bit earlier during the quarantine. So I think there's a lot of great music that's been written during the quarantine. I was walking my dog, literally, and that melody just came to me, and I started thinking about, again, what was going on in the country, and I wanted to say something about it without, pointing fingers, or so, Babylon boasts that it's making a killing. See, you can even tell my reggae roots in that.
Right.
And I won't lie.
Exactly.
Originally, and I'll tell you the confession right here on Talking About Rock will tell you the confession that The Price of Peace was originally a reggae song. That's right. It was originally Babylon boasts that it's making a killing, bloated with blood that it brags about spilling, you know.
But it's
So-
been reinvented for metal. Got it.
Yeah. You know, Babylon boasts that it's making it not that different, but you know, how many times, like you look at Bad Brains, reggae and hardcore, you know, I think that a good song can be translated into many different versions. Now, when
That's
we
very
came up
true,
with that chorus, boom, 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 bandit, 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 do-do-do-do-do-do. Let me tell you, that chorus took me a while to come up with because I knew I had to take it away from that. You know, where are we going to go with that? And I was listening to a lot of harder bands, and you know, I guess I'm just happy that it came out well. And also, Rob Ruccia of Uptown Recording, okay, that's where Nonpoint records, all right? And
Okay.
Nonpoint, I guess, kind of had some influence on this song because Rashid from Nonpoint was actually there when we recorded that track, the guitar player, and Rob is a genius, Rob Ruccia from Uptown Recording. So yeah, we have to mention that, and that, you know, I wanted some of that, I don't know, I wouldn't call it new metal, but just to go a little darker. And, you know, with First Jason, what I like to say is we're drawing upon all of these amazing styles and genres and, you know, unabashedly stealing ideas and bringing it in. But sometimes people can't tell me what genre it is. I
Right.
think a lot of that has to do with the KEYTAR, man, you know, because I'm playing a KEYTAR. It's like I'm writing from a KEYTAR. So,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, I think it's such an amazing sound to get out of that. And I really like the track. So we're going to play it here real quick. And we'll be right back with Ari Lehman on Talking About Rock. All right, we're back here on Talking About Rock with Ari Lehman.
Yeah.
And just watched the video for The Price of Peace. Excellent stuff, man. Excellent
Oh,
stuff.
thank
So,
you, man.
yeah,
That
so
video is done by Camp Rattler, who is an amazing team based out of Scranton, Pennsylvania. James Callahan and his group of magicians. They're amazing. And now we've got a new live action video for The Scapegoat, and I can't wait for y'all to see that too.
that'll be very cool. We'll definitely have to check that out for sure. So, what else you got coming up? I see you got dates posted all the time. You got some dates
we
to
are
share with
so
us?
fortunate. Yeah, we are heading right out on tour in August. And, you know, we're playing a bunch of great places. We're playing the Rialto Theater. We're playing at the Polish Ostrich. We're playing, you know, all these great places. The thing that's the anchor of that whole tour is Silver Screen Con. That's in Danvers, Massachusetts. We had the honor of opening for Twisted and Ice Nine Kills at that event. And of course, there's going to be a lot of great celebs there. Kane Hodder, who played Jason Voorhees in parts 7 through 10, will be there. And we're going to do a panel together. I haven't been on a panel together with Kane in some time, and we always have a great deal of fun. Yeah, make sure you're at Silver Screen Con, you know, and people should check us out, because you can get the 7-inch vinyl of The Scapegoat and The Price of Peace. So just come out and check out, of course, at our merch table, or at First Jason Official. Just ask me about it.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, definitely. You guys are always so busy, and I know you needed to juggle it around a little bit. I really appreciate you taking the time and coming and being on the show today, man, and chatting with us about everything First Jason and all the stuff you got going on. It's amazing. I knew you were,
Rob.
I know you were out here. Was it a year or two ago? And you were at one of the haunted houses or horror events.
Oh yeah, in Buffalo, there's 2 amazing haunted houses. Oh gosh,
yeah,
I don't want to say the wrong. Do you remember the names?
Yeah, I'm sorry, they're gonna kill me, but they escaped me for the moment. But I hope
Right. Those places are awesome. There's 2 haunts in that region, and
I think it's Everhaunt. That's what it's called?
Everhaunt. That's the people. Everhaunt are right there. They do an amazing job. What a fun haunt. Yeah, go and check that out. Absolutely. Tell them little Jason Voorhees sent you. Just
cool.
don't
I hope they bring you
pond.
back there, man. We get to see you there too. That would be excellent. You know,
absolutely. I think there was a great cosplayer who was playing Mama Voorhees, which is always something we love, you know. And remember, check out firstjason.com calendar. And if you show up and you mention Talking About Rock, you're going to get a free gift at the merch table. And show up in costume, okay? Dress like Mama, dress like the camp counselors. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Excellent, excellent. This guy puts on a great show, folks. Don't miss out on it. Ari, thank you so much. Really appreciate you being here today.
Thank you, Rob.
And if you folks out there have questions or comments for us, please feel free to email us at talkingaboutrock@gmail.com. Please like us and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And as always, for this interview with this awesome dude and some other guys as well, we're on YouTube and all the streaming services, wherever you get your podcasts from. Ari, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, bro.
All right, have a good night, man.
Send me that link.
All right.